Oh, hi.
Hi, so this is Verna from Drayton Valley Library, and I've got my nephew with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Isaiah.
Yeah, we've got Isaiah. So I asked Isaiah especially if he would come to this game on remote version because he had a favorite game that he made me play over and over again when he was little. What was that, Isaiah?
Snakes and ladders.
Snakes and ladders, yes. And so I have discovered that we can play snakes and ladders at a remote distance. So you can play this if you have video chat sort of thing like we're doing right now, or you can even play it just over the phone, not having any visual at all, because I did that with my mom last night and we had a good time. So
Nice.
I've told people that they're going to need a few supplies. So Isaiah has come prepared. And if you're doing this, you might have to watch it twice so you have a chance to gather your supplies. You need some paper, any old piece of paper, probably at least an 8.5 by 11 so you have enough room. If you are someone who hates squiggly lines and they drive you nuts, you can get yourself a ruler, but if you don't care about squiggly lines, don't worry about the ruler. Okay, Isaiah just says he doesn't care. A pencil, perhaps an eraser if you're somebody who makes mistakes sometimes. And oh, I found my eraser. Yes, I'm ready. Okay, and then you need some sort of colored markers, crayons, anything colored, at least two
Oh, I thought you were
colors.
talking about the pieces.
Oh,
'Cause
we're
I have
not
the
ready for that yet,
pieces.
Isaiah. You got your crayons?
I didn't know
Or
you had
some?
crayons. Oh no. I probably have some.
Okay.
The
If he
kid
has to
like
run, if he has to run, grab some. We're okay with that.
okay, I think I have a blue and
Yeah. Our goal is just
blue
to
and a red,
differentiate from
I
our
think.
pencil lines. We want something that's not gray like a pencil. So at least two other colors.
Oh, is it for drawing the snakes and ladders?
Oh, you predict things well, don't you? Okay, for
Okay,
the
I'll be
rest
one
of you,
second then.
he's going to find his other stuff. So for the rest of you, find a dice if you have a dice. If you don't have a dice, what I thought of is you could just get some little scraps of paper and you could just write down the numbers 1 to 6, like number 1 on one piece of paper, number 2 on another piece of paper, so on. Fold them up and stick them in a bowl, and then you can just draw out a number instead of rolling a dice if you don't have one handy. And the other thing that you need is 2 small items for your playing pieces. They could be anything. These are from another game that I had, or I know it's slightly gross, but when I looked for something else to use, I found the tops of my earbuds. So those would work too. Perhaps you want to use your own earbuds and not someone else's. But anyways, if
Hopefully.
you have all those things, you are ready to learn how to play snakes and ladders from a distance. So the most important thing I thought to myself is you have to have the same board, right, to play it with someone else from a distance. Now, if you have access to the internet and you have a printer and all that, you might be able to find a picture of a snakes and ladders that you could print out. Try to respect copyright and all of that, you know. But if you don't have that, not a problem, and that's why this works great over a phone too, is you can just draw out your own snakes and ladders board. So that's what Isaiah and I are going to do with our piece of paper. Snakes and ladders, they usually have 10 rows and 10 columns, okay? Because we're going to have the numbers 1 to 100 on your board. So Isaiah, are you drawing your squares?
I'm trying to sharpen this brown pencil crayon that I found, but it's just breaking a lot.
Okay. I heard that he got a head start on me on his squares anyways. So I'm going to work on mine. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna see if doing a ruler width works or not. I'm not sure. But if it doesn't, it's okay. The important thing will be that you have your snakes when you draw them and your ladders when you draw them, starting and ending in the same spots. Okay, so you could play this with more than just 2 people. If you have more
Hey,
markers, let's see.
I sharpened it.
He has success. Okay, I had almost success with my ruler thing, but I have to make a couple spaces not exactly equal. Too bad. So for those of you using 8.5 by 11 paper, you can probably get 9 across, but yeah, I have to make room for 10. So some of my squares won't be the same size. I'll live with it. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got my rows, I think. No, columns. Columns. I'm now going to make rows. Got to make 10 of those as well. All right. This makes for fascinating television right now. People drawing squares. But if you're doing this with us as we do it, it gives you time to create your squares as well. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, mine got pretty tiny at the end.
7. Yeah, mine are not going to work out equally here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, again. So I'm just going to split one in half. It's going to be a little bit weird. It was probably better doing it freehand. I can show you the one I made last night, which I asked Isaiah if he could identify because there's 2 mistakes we made, but it worked out okay because my mom and I both had the same game board that had the same mistakes on it, so it was fine. So what was that?
I guess 2 wrongs do make a right then, I guess.
Maybe. So what do you think, Isaiah? What was the issues? You want to tell the people what I did wrong?
Right, it was upside down. The 100's supposed to be at the top left.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? I didn't get this one last time either.
So he's saying like you're supposed to start with 1 down here, I think it would be, right? Because then you go 1, 2, 3, 4 across like that. And then you're working your way up to the top of the board instead of from the top to the bottom. I only learned that by looking on Google, but he knew it without doing that. So that's pretty good. But the other thing was like if I was moving across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Right.
Where would I want to move after 10? I'd probably want to go to 11 underneath, but I didn't do that on here. It kind of looks like a hundreds chart. If any of you are doing some school at home, you could play it this way if you want to and use a hundreds chart. So anyways, here's my not quite even thing that I did. So now what Isaiah and I are going to do is put the numbers in, right? So we're going to start in the bottom left-hand corner, I believe it is. So you're going to start with number 1, like so. There we go. You got that? Yeah?
Oh, I started at 100.
Did you start up here? Because you can start up there. Oh, I think someone has joined us because I heard my mom laughing.
Oh no! What did I do?
I can put the mute on if you'd like. Oh, okay, here we go. I'll mute her. There we go. She would like to have her privacy, but she's enjoying this anyways. Okay, so if you want to start at 100, you got to start up here, I think. But yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah, I think
okay,
I did it right.
So
right?
you got, I think so. Is that where I'm going to end up? So if I go, I'm like, 1, 2, I have to put it down to figure that out.
This is just how I remember always looking at it when I was a kid, so.
Yeah. Oh, I think 100 might end up in this corner.
Yeah, that's where I got mine too.
That's where you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Then
I think
you're
my
fine.
camera's just flipped for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay. Anyways, hopefully we end up with the same game board.
Hopefully.
All right. So writing in your numbers. If you're going the direction I went, when you get to 10, right above the 10, you got to put the 11.
Right. And
Okay.
I did the, wait, can you see that? Yeah, the 89 underneath the 90. Or sorry, the 91.
Or the 90 underneath the 91.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, that looks good. All right. Okay, I'm going to try and write this a little faster because I know it's fascinating for everyone. 18, 19, 20. Good counting practice for kids at home.
This is much harder to count going backwards. I don't know why I did it like this.
Ah, that is a good idea if you want to challenge the kids at home. because
It's true.
by grade 2, I remember they're supposed to be able to count backwards from 100, I believe. So excellent idea.
I just
Yes.
went from 79 to 78 to 79 again. So
70, I'm not sure. We'll see if it all turns out right. I don't care how you got there. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. I shouldn't do that because it might be messing Isaiah up.
oh, I'm not paying attention. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm in the zone.
Okay. So that's what I've got thus far. If people are trying to sort out what's happening. Okay. All right. I'll carry on.
Oh, I did it backwards.
I might want to
stopped
laugh at you.
thinking.
But that's unkind.
Yeah, I stopped thinking.
You got out of the
Started going
zone?
automatically. Well, I was in the zone. I was in the wrong zone.
Oh.
But
Okay.
good thing is that I don't really have to redo all of them.
But it's also why we had this, an eraser. Just
Yeah.
and why we're doing it in pencil, not in pen. That's right. 70, 71. Now I remember one thing my mom asked me last night. She said, "Do I have to go all the way to 100?" And I said, "Yes." Once you get done making the board, it will be fun for a long time because you can call the person up and play it over and over, and each time you don't have to make the board again. So it's only a little bit painful to start with. Now, another thing I remember when we tried this out was we had maybe not quite as many snakes and ladders as we would have liked, because you get to a certain point in the game and there's no more options for going up or down or anything. So, so here's mine, got all the numbers. Here's last night.
Nowhere
just
near finishing.
That's
I
okay.
had to restart.
I might have to pause the video because it might get not entertaining after a while. But so this is how many snakes and ladders we had. And actually we only had 4 snakes, and then partway through the game, we agreed together. And this is what I found is important when you're playing over the phone or from a distance. As long as you can agree together on the rules, if you agree, it works, right?
Right.
So talking about the rules ahead of time is helpful when you're doing, we tried a Uno/Crazy Eights version, and it was a little complicated, but we talked through the rules, we agreed, and then things were okay. So, all right, how close are you, Isaiah? No pressure.
I just hit 50.
Just hit 50. Okay. So I might just pause our video just for a little bit till he gets up to 100. All right, we'll be right back. Hello, so we're back. So we finished our snakes. We're having so much fun we had to go into another Zoom meeting. Anyways, here's what we've got. We got 10 snakes. Same beginnings and endings on each of our boards, although our squiggles are different, but it's all good. So that means it's time for ladders, right?
Ladders, yep.
Need some ladders. So same sort of deal. I ended up picking 2 colors for my snakes because I thought they might cross or something, but you probably want to pick a different color for your ladder now, something that's not a snake or that's none of your snake colors. Anyways, so we'll do a couple of these. We're going to pick a start and an end. What do you think? What do you think, Isaiah? I guess we can't squiggle now, though. We have to draw straight lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say we go across like 3 snakes here, go 37 to 66.
37 to 66. All right, I got
all
it.
the snakes.
Oh, I don't got it. This marker doesn't work. Let's try again. Okay, 37 to 66. This ladder's better. It even squeaks. My marker does, I mean the ladder. Okay, so here's, for the folks at home, there's a ladder. Okay. You can show your ladder if you wanted to.
I'm not done.
Probably fancy. I think he's got some artistic.
Not really.
Okay.
I don't know the last time I had to draw a ladder though, so you know, I kind of forgot how. 2
parallel lines with other parallel lines between them. So
it's difficult for me.
It's difficult for you. I can't wait to see this ladder. Let's see. I'm curious now. It does look like it's difficult for you. Just
it
a little bit. Your ladder's a little bit woo.
It is, yeah. It's homemade.
But, you know, it's homemade. Oh, I see. Okay, let's do another one here. I'll give it a shot. How about we do 47 to 29. 47 to 29.
Okay, I can do that.
My marker's not squeaking anymore. I'm a little disappointed. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay.
That one was easier.
Like
that one was a lot easier.
Okay.
It took a lot less time.
Right, yeah, we're coming along. I had a lot of fun playing the game with Isaiah today. Unfortunately, I don't think I hit the right button to show the gameplay and how it turned out and things like that. So I'll just give you a little update here on the bits that you missed. So one of the things then was to find your little game pieces. So I had 2 game pieces I had picked out from another game here. And then I had also the ends of 2 earbuds. And one thing I found when I was playing over the phone, because I chose to use a piece for myself as well as keep track of the other person's gameplay. And it's a little tricky to keep track of whose piece is whose when there's not someone else there to move the pieces. So I chose that to use my favorite one, the prettiest one with the nice shiny rock with the little dog, to be me, because it's the one I liked. And then I gave the other person the not so nice one. So in this case, Isaiah got to be the earbud. And that made it very easy for me to remember who was who. As we started to play, I looked at my game board and Isaiah's game board on the video screen, and we were different. So if we can kind of see the game board here, I think. So I had both my pieces. Oh, Isaiah had both his pieces sitting on the 1, and I had both my pieces sitting before the 1. And then we're like, oh, wait a minute, we have to agree how we're going to start. So we got that figured out. We started before the 1. So then when you do your gameplay, you have to communicate with each other as to what's happening, right? So if it was my turn, I rolled the dice, and especially if you were doing this over the phone, you need to tell the person, oh, I rolled a 1. Okay, so I'm on number 1. It's Isaiah's turn. He rolled a 4. He would tell me he rolled a 4, and he might count them out and then say, okay, I'm on 4. My turn. I got a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm on 6, and I went up the ladder, and now I'm at 35. And Isaiah might say 35. Okay, and he's moving his pieces along on his own game board to keep track of what's going on. So if Isaiah got a 1, I rolled a 1, I'm now on 5. So that's kind of how we did that. It became a little bit tricky when we got near the end. We both ended up together on 97. And then we thought, oh no, we have not agreed on how we're going to end this game. So there was a couple options of how to end it. We could need to roll the dice so we'd get exactly 3 and land on 100. We could be rolling the dice so that we got, if we got higher than 3, 4, 5, or 6, we just go off the board and that means you win. Or we could go the bounce back version. So that would be, let's see, if I had a 6, let's say, and I would be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'd be bounced right back there. So what happened, we decided to see about 2 different outcomes. And if we were playing go straight off the board, I will have to admit Isaiah would have won the game then. So then we just tried the bounce back, but that took quite a while. We ended up going down quite a few snakes and so the game was going on and on. So when we finally decided we needed to wrap it up, I ended up on the 75. This was our finishing positions, and Isaiah was back down to 7. But what I did is I just wrote our initials in the spots that we finished at, and then, you know, I can put it away, and if I want to call him later, we can continue on the play, or we can start a whole new game if that's what we prefer. So there we go. That's how it went. If you want to join us, and it would have been great if you were there to hang out with Isaiah and us as we played the games, you can call the library or give us an email to get the meeting ID, and you can join us on Zoom. We will be playing games again next Thursday at 3 o'clock, and I think Isaiah may join us, hoping to do perhaps some Uno from a distance and perhaps some other card games. So see you then, and get your game on.